SynthFest France 24. I'm here on the booth of Fred's lab
Hi everybody.
with Fred. How are you?
I'm fine actually, and I'm very happy to be there because there's a big event, a lot of people coming, very interested in the machine, very interested in trying new things, and I'm happy I can show off my new Manatee, which has taken some time to develop.
I'm long time not see, and I remember you had this project Manatee since 2 years in the making, I think.
Well, actually 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Is it already 3 years? You had this prototype on Superbooth.
No, this is 2 years,
Yes,
but
yeah.
in the making 3 years, yeah. So a lot of things have changed since the last version I showcased, because the last version was like in this quadratic box, and now it has a new design, also thanks to Tom, because the feedback I got was like I could not really release the Manatee in the previous form, and this is very good because I took a lot of time to work on the user interface. So what you can see now is like you have your 4 parts always accessible there, a separate section for the meta envelopes, the 2 oscillators, you will find it over here. Here you have like the multimode filter, and at the top you have the mixing section, because the Manatee has actually 2 buses. So if you want to make like separate mixes for your parts and route some parts on the second buses, you can do, but you can always use like the 4 separate outputs to output the part sound separately. So that's very handy when you are like trying to add some effects or mixing on the fly, because this machine has been also designed to be played live.
So what happened now in these 3 years from the prototype? You refined the engine, all these things here.
So actually a lot of rewritten has been done on the engine to improve the functionalities, but also the sound. What happened is a lot of new modules has been introduced, and since the development has been ongoing, the complexity of the voices, the complexity of the modulation increment a lot, so I had to add a second processor. So now every Manatee comes with 2 DSPs built in and offers like 16 voice of polyphony maximum. So maybe we listen about it? Yeah. So here is like just a pad. So this one offers an example of sound that you can get with the Manatee.
And Manatee is it still a VA and spectral synth?
Exactly. So basically the sound structure is you have 2 oscillators. One works with the spectral synthesis. So this I can show. So can you get it in view here? Yeah, maybe the screen.
Yeah.
The idea is when you select just the spectrum oscillator is you start with a basic spectrum. So this you see is like the harmonics, you can actually now edit them. So you can create your custom spectrum on the fly. You select just the alt mode, and then it brings you to the spectrum editor. So you can actually see like the default spectrum that you can get from the machine, but you can edit each harmonics and say like, okay, I want more of the second harmonic, more of the fourth, and save it with your patch. And once you are done with this, you can always select the carrier waveform that will reproduce the waveform given the spectrum. And on top of that, you have the same tools I presented in the last revision, but refined, which are form and control, rotation control, and inversions. And these actually are, of course, modulable by the different source of modulation. What is new about the source of modulation is, for example, for the LFOs, so like let's take the LFO1, your default configuration is, of course, frequency, shape, and the amount. But now you can actually change shapes. So that means you can have like the first part of your LFO a sine wave, and then let's say you can follow with this kind of shape, and having at the third segment some random noise. So you have like really LFO sequences. What's cool also, and this is new, is you can select a target for your LFO. Let's say you want to control the generator formant or the pitch or the noise color, and you can say like this amount that you selected here will also depend on something called the expressor, which is like, for example, your other LFO, so it makes some cross modulation, or your mod wheel, or your breath controller, or if you are using MPE, you can use like the CC74 or the aftertouch, and that means like the amount of modulation you get will depend on each note. So it's just the modulation made by the LFO to a destination with a certain configurable amount. So this is new. And now, every LFO, of course, can be synchronized. So synchronization is advanced. You can say like, okay, my period lasts, let's say, a bar, 2 bars, or a fourth of a bar, and it will resync only after, let's say, like 3 bars or something. So this is really nice when you want to make like complex modulation, which are synchronized to the beat. And every LFO has its own envelope, meaning like the influence can rise from the beginning and fall at the end, so that the modulation is not constant. So these are the new things compared to the previous version you have seen. Also, delays are more advanced now. You get at the same time like regular ping pong delay, echo modes, but also resonator. That means like you can make some kind of comb filter, which is part, and add some kind of like, how can I say it, a room effect, and also like emphasize some harmonics. So, of course, what I didn't talk about is you have a built-in arpeggiator, which is a simple one, but you can also have like some masked motif, meaning like some step are disabled, some step are enabled, which is nice. You can control also the gain length, because the arpeggiator is polyphonic, meaning when you set the machine into polyphony, you can have notes that overlap. So from like a series of notes, you can create chords, which is really nice. And I think that's about it, except like the
There's
general...
no sequencer, no.
No, there's no sequencer. This machine is meant
And
to be controlled.
do you think you said it's bitimbral?
No, 4 parts.
Four parts.
Four
Four parts. How does it manage? You have so on each part you have an own synthesizer, or is it just splitted? You have 4 really different sounds.
It's like having 4 separate synthesizers.
Okay.
So you can...
So you have on each of these parts the same engine again and again.
Exactly. So you
Okay.
can load different presets per part, and these presets are stored in a multi. And what I wanted to say, because I've been asked before, when you save the multi, it saves the content of the part, but it does not erase the preset you have been using, meaning that you can actually take presets you've programmed before, include in the multi, modify them, save it with the multi, and then you have your modified version within the multi.
And do you think the engine is, let's say, so hands-on that you don't need an editor for it? Or
Well, there will be an editor at some point. It's in preparation, but I didn't talk about it because we have no concrete things to show. But it will come. But actually, the interface is very easy because most of the control are in the front panel. But let's say you want to edit your filter. Of course, you have like your cutoff, your resonance, the control of the envelope, the control of the LFO. But if you need like additional parameter, it's just one press of the button, and then you get the next page, which you can always access through the pots which are below the screen. So basically they are advanced parameter in the menus, but it's not like deep menu diving. It's always like one or two additional page compared to the parameters that you get directly accessed.
Okay. Can we get more sounds? Do you have some? You said the factory presets are not yet done, but you have some presets to show.
We are doing it right now because this is software 1.0, release candidate 5. There are still some bugs. We are correcting it, and the sound design is ongoing. So let's listen to it.
Can we get maybe show the hardware, because I think people, it was on Kickstarter.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And maybe people to show how the hardware now looks.
Well, it's stainless steel, powder coated, cooked panel. So like, I think.
So this is the final version.
This is absolutely the first units out of production, and this is what people will get on Kickstarter in a couple of weeks when we are done with the software.
Are we already so near?
Absolutely. So as you can see, all knobs are metal knobs screwed on a panel. You have your solid jacks output, headphone, MIDI with the MIDI through. External clock synchronization. This is really cool when you're using drum machines or you want to on the fly have a precise timing that works really well.
And you have also a classic power supply, so no USB power.
No, there's no USB power, and there's no USB at all actually on this machine. But you can attach anything from like 10 to 12 volt power adapter that will work. It's very solid. It's like 1.5 kilo, and well, the mechanical work is really precision work. So this is gonna last. That's not something like you will, have to repair in 5 years or something.
So Manatee is almost ready. So what do you think now? how many weeks when shipping will start?
So the shipping will start for the people who order on the Kickstarter in 2 or 3 weeks when we are done with the testing. Then will be the people who did pre-order. Pre-orders are still available on my website. It's cheaper than waiting for the store release. And then when everybody has been delivered with the machine they have ordered, they will go to store, but only then.
And the stores will be then for summer, or?
I would say yes, depending on how we are going through with the production, because all the machines are still assembled by hand in my office, so it takes a time. We have at the moment like 100 of main boards ready. We have to pack everything, screw everything, and make sure that all machines pass our factory test.
And let's say the project is almost done. It's
with 2 months latency, I would say, 2 months being late, but we are kind of time.
Retail price will be at the stores.
It will be about 800 euro, but this is like recommended price because we have not gone through negotiation.
Okay.
So, but I would say this kind of range. Yeah,
okay.
Range.
I'm looking forward then for the release.
Yeah, thank you so
and
much.
Big thanks, Fred.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I wish
Thank
you
for
good
coming.
luck then with the sales and so on, and hope to see you again then in the next video.
Yeah.
Bye.
Stay on SynthFest with me.
Bye.